Okay, guys, this is going to be legendary. I have a legend with me. It's STE HOARE from the Redmentv. STE, it's been a while. How are you?
It's very kind, mate. Legendary is probably a bit too strong. I'm good, mate. It's been, I was going to say, it's been a couple of years now since I've been on your show, I think, so glad to be back.
Right when I started out, I think it was a few months into it when I'd been on Redmen. October 2019, that was, by the way. Yeah, listen, a lot has happened since then. The world has been turned inside out since then, STE. And their football team has got really good. And that's what we're on here to talk about. Our football team being the beloved Reds, Liverpool, of course. Historic possibility now. It is a possibility, I suppose. And that's what we're going to talk about. I mean, it's unprecedented for a Liverpool team to be in late March to be talking about a chance for going for all 4 trophies. We've the League Cup in the back pocket, FA Cup semi against Manchester City, 1 point behind them in the league, better goal difference. And of course, we played them at the Etihad soon. And a quarter-final Champions League against Benfica. I mean, it's dreamland at the moment, isn't it?
Doesn't get no better than this, Ray, does it, Dave? This is what we're in it for. Listen, I say, next door to me is obviously Toffee TV, and they're down the other, they're going through the other shite of it. So, like I say, this is the stuff this is what we're in it for. This is there's a chance, and you reference it, like Liverpool could have the greatest season that anyone's ever had in this country. It's unprecedented. Listen, Man City came relatively close to something similar. Didn't quite get over the line, obviously in a final, semi-final as well, didn't they? So there's always it isn't nailed on at Liverpool. Listen, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that the only thing they win this season is the League Cup. But
yeah,
there's a very good chance that they do something else, and there's a decent enough chance that they win all 4, which would just be out of this world.
Ridiculous. I'd retire after that. No more podcast, no more show. You couldn't beat it. I mean, everything else would be just downhill after that, wouldn't it?
I was going to say, I haven't got that choice. It's my job, Dave. That's the problem.
I know. And congratulations, by the way.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, I'd have to pay the bills somewhere else. Maybe I'm the good luck charm. I start here and then Liverpool and everything. But yeah, it's almost like completing a computer game. It's like you go back and play it again once you've already beaten the final boss. Liverpool, they could be doing something historic. They're already having one of the greatest seasons the club's had for a long, long time. Yeah. I've got a sneaky feeling they're going to win at least a couple more, and listen, all 4 is very much in play.
Yeah, as I say, it's never been done for a reason, because you only need one mistake and it all just comes tumbling down. And it is a possibility the League Cup could be it, but it's one hell of a ride. I'm enjoying it anyway. So I mean, even if it does end with 1, I mean, it's been crazy. And if we finish second or whatever, but I do want to win at least 1 more. The one I really want is the league. I really want the league. I don't know about you out of the remaining competitions, but to get to 20. The way we were so far behind back in January, behind Man City, who, of course, are an oil state. We know all about their billions and trillions that they have. Even to be in the same conversation, I think, is unbelievable for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the one, mate. And more so because the last one we didn't really get to celebrate. Like you say, you wasn't here since 2019 when you last over. You haven't been able to get here. It's been a case where no one's been able to come and go to the game. Obviously, when we had the last league title, obviously in the pandemic and stuff. So that's the main one. Is that I think a lot of us would almost celebrate double because we didn't get a parade. We got nothing for the league title in the end, did we? So by the time everything sorted itself out in the world, well, it hasn't even sorted itself out yet. But the world started back open again. It was too late to do anything. So yeah, the league's obviously the one. But listen, I'm greedy. I'm always greedy. So it's why I've got a big fat belly, Dave, and I'm a greedy man. So give me all. Give me. That's
why I'm so slim and trim. I'm just being realistic here. Look. Don't get me wrong. I want to win the whole fucking lot. Let's be real here. I'm just trying to put my realistic Einstein hat on and say how hard it is to do it, and not raise expectations. Like I'm sure Klopp knows. That's why he's not talking about it.
Yeah, you're right. And listen, I think if you asked most fans will pick the league. I've got a sneaky feeling most players will pick the Champions League, but I think most of the fan base would league titles first and foremost. Listen, if the season ends with a league and League Cup double, what a season that is. You know, the fact that we've already got one in the bag, and again, it could be a domestic cup double, it could be trebles, it could be anything, we don't know. But I would be shocked if Jordan isn't lifting at least one more trophy this season. I just can't see. The team's so good. I just don't see. I don't know which ones and how it'll work out because again, City are brilliant, Chelsea are really good. So I'm probably going to have to beat both of those in the FA Cup, and we might have to meet one of them in the Champions League final, and the Premier League speaks for itself. But I would be shocked if Jordan doesn't lift at least one more. Got a sneaky feeling it might be more as well.
It's crazy to think that we beat Chelsea on penalties in the League Cup. There's a good chance. There's a chance we could meet them in the final of the FA Cup, of course, if we get past City, and there's a chance we could meet them in the Champions League. So those three teams, the domination of those three teams, whether it's good for football, that's another day's podcast. But it's certainly good for us. It's certainly good for us.
Yeah, and like I say, mate, I think it's those three and Bayern Munich, probably the four best teams in Europe at the moment. I still think. I know Real Madrid got battered by Barcelona the other day, but I think if they get their full team out and that Benzema back, I think they're a very stern challenge as well. So I'd be shocked if Crystal Palace won the FA Cup, given what they'll be running the gauntlet if they did it. So yeah, listen, City, someone out of City, Chelsea, and us are going to be winning at least 2 more trophies.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's a domination. And I'll be honest, I think Chelsea in the cup are a very good cup side. There's a reason they're a few points off in the league, because they're not a great league side. They're a very good league side.
They're not as consistent, no.
Exactly. And in the cup, it suits Tuchel a bit because he can be a bit more defensive. He can be pragmatic. He can't really, you can't really be playing at home to Burnley and park on a bus, where you can play City over 2 legs and do that, or you can play City in a final and outdo them. So Chelsea are worry in the cup. In terms of the league, though, like you said, like that Etihad game is just so big.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be shocked, mate, if we won all our games and they won all their games, other than that one, and that ultimately becomes the decider. What I would say, mate,
is it a must win? Is the Etihad on the 10th of April? My birthday's on the 11th of April, by the way, so I want a happy birthday, right? That game on the 10th for me now, being the realistic hat on again, the old man's hat, by the way. I think it's a must not lose. I don't think it's a must win. I think it's a must definitely not lose.
Yeah, if you lose,
I take a draw.
Yeah, City look like 18-19 when they went 18 games in January unbeaten. They've already dropped points a couple of times in the last 5 or 6 games, so they're not infallible. So you're right, a draw wouldn't be the worst result in the world. You can't lose 4 points. You're asking them to drop points.
You're in trouble, I think you're in trouble. They've slightly easier running than us.
Yeah, 4 points. 4 points would be a big gap, considering you'd have to be perfect and they'd have to drop points twice elsewhere.
Yeah,
you're probably stretching there. But listen, who knows? They play Burnley. To see Burnley can get something out of them. We just don't know. But like I said, at this moment in time, I think on a neutral field we would beat Manchester City. Come April 10th, it could be. Who knows what?
Exactly. Who'll be available? I mean, I heard something today about Trent as a possibility that he mightn't even make the City game, but I mean that could be all pie in the sky. We don't know. There's a lot of players on the way in international due. I know MOSALAH and Mane go head to head again tonight in a big game. So let's hope. We'll only probably know by around Thursday, lunchtime Friday, who's available for the Watford. I think the Watford game's a big game. It's the first game back of this big bloody run we have now. We've got to win. We have to be. Well, we used to win all our games, to be honest, but we have to win. Put a little marker down, a 2-3, 4-0 type win. Build the goal difference up and put pressure on City, who played in at 3 o'clock against Burnley.
Yeah, like I say, listen, mate, you referenced before we played Brentford in January, we were 14 points back. I understand those games in hand, but etc. etc. At any point for us to then go above them, even it just shows them again.
Psychological, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's good for everybody. It just shows that gap is closed and closed and closed. It's now gone. The gap doesn't exist anymore. You now need to go to Burnley and beat Burnley just to get back to what you was again. So, man. The issue with the Watford game, Dave, is like you can't overlook it, because there's a Champions League game and then there's Manchester City and then there's a Champions League game and then there's Manchester City. You can't Jürgen won't be taking his eye off. Watford, and that's the important thing, is that the City game in the league almost means nothing if you get beaten on by Watford. You know what I mean? So
that's what I mean.
You are right in saying that. I think Liverpool will be quite happy to just get the job done against Watford, save as much legs as they can for Benfica, because I've got a feeling they are wanting to go to Portugal and batter Benfica.
Try to do as much in the first leg, not to give yourself, like Atletico will give City a game in both games. You know what I mean? And they'll have bruised ankles as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, mate. And we go to Portugal. Sorry, in between the 2 City games, we are at home to Benfica. They are going to Atletico Madrid, and Atleti aren't that good, but what they will do, they'll shit to death, and if they get a sniff, they will boot you off the pitch if they can. So you are right in saying that. That Liverpool need to press home that advantage. So I've got a feeling Watford will try and be economical with the legs, go and try and blitz Benfica, and then you've got a big gap. Then it's Tuesday, Sunday before the City game.
Yeah,
and you go into that City game knowing that, you know, because then you play after Benfica game afterwards, that might be done. That's the ideal situation. It might not work out like that, but I'm guessing that's Jurgen's game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the first thing, obviously, we just got to beat Watford on Saturday. It's a lunchtime kickoff. We know these lunchtime kickoffs. It's like leaving your car in the garage for 2 weeks and hoping it'll start. The battery hasn't died. I'm hoping the battery's not flat for Liverpool on Saturday. But before we end, I want to have a quick chat about what's your point of view, what's your take on the MOSALAH contract situation. Sure, I know you don't have to go 20 minutes talking about it, but you think you'll sign?
Yes, I think so. But it's guessing. It's hard to have an opinion, and this is what I always find with things on social media, is that everyone's got an opinion, but no one knows the facts. The only people who know the facts are MOSALAH and his agent and Liverpool Football Club. That's all that knows. Nobody knows what Mo's getting offered.
Yeah,
nobody knows
wages. You see fellas posting wages. No one knows what bleeding wages he's on.
No, and like you see lists say, you know, like, you know, he would rank here in the league. We don't know because you go on 5 different websites and Ronaldo on one of them's earning 500 grand a week. On one of them he's earning 400 grand. I saw Lukaku on one for 250 and he's on one for 380. Like, we don't know. So all we don't know is that, listen, we don't know what he's being offered and what he's asking for, because there's a line. There's a line where I think even most Liverpool fans will go, we can't give him that. Like, no. I don't think many would go like 600 grand a week. Just give him it. There's got to be a number somewhere. So that's the difference. Anyway, like, if Liverpool trying to shortchange MOSALAH and pay him under market value in terms of, you know, you're paying him. I don't know what the figures are. I think Liverpool would be prepared to make him the highest paid player in the club's history, and they should do.
And rightly.
Yeah, and he's the best player in the world, so no issues with that. It just becomes it's quite bored as well, Dave. Like, we just don't know the ins and outs.
Do you know what I think it is, Steve? I think it's about self-worth for Salah. Salah's not a money man. He's a family man. We know the way he is with his kids, or Maka and his wife. He's a family man. He'll want a decent wage he'll want to know how much he's worth, his self-worth. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it won't be huge Ronaldo, Pogba bleeding money, even though he's crap. But you know what I mean? It will be more than what he's on now. And I think he's right for that, but not too high.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We just don't know. I don't think anyone at Liverpool would say to MOSALAH, we expect you to stay on the same wage. I think they'll know they have to handsomely reward him, and he deserves. He's the best player on the planet. But the only thing I don't like about it, I don't like the lawyer, the agent, his social media game.
I've seen all that. The Twitters, the emojis, all this crap.
That's unprofessional for me. It doesn't need to be. I don't know. That isn't for me. Listen, again, it could be. We don't know. Liverpool could be really shortchanging MOSALAH, and he could be saying things like, you know, you're getting on a bit and you're getting this, and in which case he's got every right to leak things to the press, or, you know, for Fabrizio Romano to get an exclusive off his agent. I think that makes sense because it's all negotiating. The flip side is if he's asking for, you know, upwards of £500,000 a week, and at some point Liverpool go, no, we can't do that because it just doesn't. It doesn't, because we can pay MOSALAH that now, and then the next contract that comes up, we've got to beat that, and then and so I would get that.
Gets messy.
It's hard. It's just hard to know without knowing the figures. It's my thing on it, Dave, is I don't know where he'd go. That's the thing. I don't know where he'd go.
Yeah. There's not as many options. You might say PSG if they got rid of Mbappe. That'd be the only angle I would ever take. I don't think he goes to Spain. Maybe PSG. They definitely will pay the wages there. They need someone for Mbappe to fill his boots. Yeah. If he, that's all. That's the only place, I'd say.
That's pretty much it. And again, maybe fancies Paris. Maybe I don't, who knows? But yeah, you're right to say that. Like, Real Madrid's going to be paying him that much money. Barcelona, they're a shit show in terms of finances. Yeah. Like, there's actually only 3 teams in the world really who could pay them, and it's PSG, it's Manchester City, and it's probably Newcastle. It's
certainly not Chelsea at the moment.
Yeah, so,
crazy shit, absolutely crazy.
The market for your elite level players now is very, very small, because Bayern Munich maybe, but I don't see them really doing that potentially. I don't know, but no. Yeah, like Chelsea going through what they're going through. Barcelona are going through what they're going through. Juventus are going what they're going through as well. It's like all these elite level sides, there's actually fewer of them about at the moment for Mo to pick from. So my guess is it gets done. I wouldn't be shocked if Liverpool waited till the summer, even into next season to start. I don't know how it works. I had a conversation with the lads in the office today, and I said, like, I don't think they'd sell him this summer. I think even if they couldn't get him to sign, they'd keep him and use him again next year. And if that means losing him on a free when he's 30 odd,
Yeah, that's it. Let it run his contract down rather than selling for 30-40 million. So for a year, he's worth more to you probably in that year.
Exactly that. And you only paid that for him. So you've already got, you pay 40 million quid for him, whatever he's repaid that. There's a league title and a European Cup in the cabinet that MOSALAH helped win. So he's paid for that. So I'm with you. I don't even think he'd have to come to him and say, I'm definitely not signing, and then someone would have to come in with like upwards of 100 million quid plus, I think, for Liverpool.
I think if someone came in with something like that, 70 or 80 million, I think Liverpool could be tempted. Would a year left on his contract?
Yeah, I don't, because I think he's worth more. I think he's worth more having. I think you better having MOSALAH for the year than that. They did it with Wijnaldum again, different level of footballer, but the offers were there for Wijnaldum in the year before, and in the end they thought he'd keep him and let him go. Emre Can they let run down, so it's happened a few times. The difference with Salah is, like, say, you are leaving 75-80 million quid on the table, but it's whether you think are Liverpool better off by having MOSALAH and just not having that dough in the bank.
Yeah. Look, we all love MOSALAH. I love him. You love him. I want him to sign a bloody long-term contract with Klopp. Never mind Salah. I want Klopp to sign too. But just before we go, Redmentv, you're full-time there now. That was a congrats as well. You're doing a lot of watch-alongs with Errol. I just see them. The watch-along. You love the old watch-alongs. Are you doing one Saturday for the Watford game?
Yes, mate, I am. So the general thing is that I do the home games because Paul and Chris go with the season, and then they do the away games. So me and Errol usually do most of the homes. So yeah, I'm back in for Watford. Man, so I've been full time in October. It was a long time coming. There was conversations for a long time, but pandemic and stuff. Obviously, pandemic hit and it kind of got shelved for a bit. And then when we realised footy was back again and wasn't going away again, because that was even ropey for a little bit, wasn't it? And so. Yeah, so then I've been full time since October. It's going well. Like, we're having more the great. It's fun because Liverpool are good. It means you're busy, game. But mate,
you're going to be busy for the next 6 weeks anyway. I don't know where you're going to have to sleep in the bloody studio. I want to bring in a sleeping bag in that studio.
I get married in a few weeks as well, Dave. So I've got some time off.
So all right, congrats on that.
Yeah, so I've got these lads these are all giving me stick now. I'm fucking off at the business end of the season for a couple of weeks.
For fuck's sake! Oh, gee. That happened, Chris. I remember talking to Chris for the Champions League final. He had booked a holiday away, hadn't he?
Yeah,
and he couldn't go.
He had to watch it. Yeah, he had to watch it in Paris. In my defence, this wedding was booked in 2020. It's just been postponed 2 times, so it's not my fault that Liverpool the COVID shut down for 2 years. But yeah, mate, I've got that coming. But it's we launched Redmen Plus in October, which is essentially it's a bit like Netflix kind of stuff as well. So we're going really heavy on the documentaries and stuff as well as the match kind of stuff. So it's hard work, but honestly, mate, like, from where I was where. Yeah, like I'm a workaholic for my sins, Dave. I'll be honest, I'm a workaholic for my sins. My missus will tell you that as well. Like, he's always on this computer, he's always on the phone. So the good thing out here is that we can share the load out a bit, and like we tag in and out, so the lads can help each other. I get the odd weekend off, they get weekends off. I mean, so that's the good thing about it. But yeah, like I say, I'm really enjoying it.
No, brilliant. And you did an interview with Phil Thompson. Did you do the interview with Phil Thompson? Is that coming out today?
I did, yeah. So I don't know what time your show's going on, but I did Phil Thompson. It comes out at 5 o'clock UK time.
This will be going out now in about 20 minutes.
All right, then, fair enough. Then, so yeah, 5 o'clock, Redmen Plus. If you go to redmenplus.com, it'll be on there from 5 PM. Yeah, spoke to him about the boot room. So what was it like playing under Shankly and Paisley and Fagan and that kind of stuff. And he's a good guy. He's a really cool guy.
Well, I think we leave it there. We're going to have an epic season no matter what happens for Liverpool, because we're all Liverpool. We all want them to do well. Of course we do. But let's just see what happens. It's out of our hands, basically, Stay, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is. And like I say, next time you're over, make sure you come back. We need that pint. We missed out last time. We only got one last time. We had shows to do, so get back over, man. Get as soon as you can.
Absolutely. Stay safe. Say hello to the boys. Talk to you soon. Redmentv, STE HOARE, absolute legend.